weekend, homecoming, Tusculum. What's it mean to see a bunch of Carson-Newman alums stream back in here for a pretty big game against the Pioneers?
Well, homecoming's always a special time at Carson-Newman. Get to see people you hadn't seen in a long time. Get to hug all the ex-players and kiss the little children and do all the things that you miss out on doing all year. So it's really fun, and of course, playing a very, very important ball game for us, and playing against a team that will do some things probably will give us a fit, and so we've got to play well. And we ended last week's game with a little bit of a bad taste in our mouth, and so I think hopefully we're anxious to play another ball game so we can get going a little bit and try to correct some mistakes that we've been making.
You looked at Tusculum, and Cordell has been the story there for forever and a day now.
5 years, yeah. I guess. Of course, he was hurt one of those years, but he's been their story for a long time. And last year, we were worried about him throwing it, and he ran for 190,000 yards against us. It seemed like, we just we couldn't get him hemmed up. And I still remember in my mind us trying to chase him down and him outrunning some of us most of the time. So we've got to figure out somehow we can play some consistent football on both sides of the ball. Just be consistent for 4 quarters and get some things done.
What makes their spread option or their spread attack different from Colorado School of Mines?
Well, probably not a whole lot of difference. Probably a lot of the same concepts. They probably use their back a little bit more. And after watching what Catawba did to us with the back, out of the backfield, I'm sure that's going to be big for Tusculum too. And they've got talent. Tusculum's got talent. They probably got more speed than Colorado School of Mines, and so they're always a talented football team.
What's the rivalry mean, or is it a rivalry?
Well, it's we're close to each other, and that makes it. Anytime you're less than 100 miles apart, then that makes it. It's a neighborhood game, and anytime you have a neighborhood game, it's always an important ball game on the schedule.
What are some of the things they've done over the years to help raise their program to the point where they are able to compete in the SAC and just stadium, all that stuff? How have they gone about that process?
Well, they have recruited some good players. I think Coach DeBus has stabilized the program a whole lot. They've got a interesting concept of how to be an offensive football team, which means they're going to if you leave somebody uncovered for a little bit, they're going to get the ball to them, and that's always and it's usually a lot of space involved in that. And anytime there's space involved, when somebody's got the ball in their hands, and that makes for an interesting ball game. And I think it seems like every year we've played them, we've had some key people that maybe had enough skill to chase some of them down, weren't on the field for us, and they have a way of holding on to the ball for a long time. So especially with Cordell willing to pull it down and run it, and which is what he did last year. He hadn't run it much at all until we played him last year, and so it made for it's a anytime you have the ball in space and you miss a tackle or two, you're in trouble, and so. And up until this past ball game, we'd missed a bunch of tackles, and we tackled a little bit better this past week. That's one of the few things we did a little better.
It's your 400th career game here at Mossy Creek. What's that mean? What's that say?
That means I need a pillow. I'm getting old, and I need a nap. You know, and so it just means, you know. It means that we've had some gracious presidents that hadn't fired me, and it does mean that we've had a really coaching staff that stuck together and done a lot of good things, and we've played a lot of ball games together.
Is that weird to sit back and look at it as 400 games, or you don't even think about it?
Mm-mm. That's not an issue. The only thing I know is that the fourth quarter last ball game we didn't play well, and that this is another ball game and another opportunity to do something special, you know, do something, improve, take a step forward. We haven't taken big steps forward in the last few weeks. We need to take some steps forward to improve, you know, because we're halfway point, a little bit over halfway point of the season, and it's, you know, it's time to do this better. And you know, you never do that. You're either doing this or you're doing this, and we've got to get better.
Brandon Baker finally came back last week and seemed to be at full bore as opposed to being banged up as he was the first few weeks. What's different about his game, his wellness, that enabled him to rush for more than 140 against Shorter?
Well, he's not wide open yet, and he made one or two big plays, but he's still not the Brandon Baker that we're used to seeing. And in fact, we don't have a running back is the running back that we're used to seeing right now, and so. With the exception of the offensive line, and they've had some little dings, but we have really been a beat-up offensive football team. And so, you know, maybe before the season's over, before the last ball game, I hope that we get some people back and everybody full gear. We've got to have better execution. We're not executing like we need to, the offense. And I still got 500 yards and had it for 88 plays, but still didn't play. There were so many times that it was, you know, anytime you get in what we call the orange zone and don't score, which we did 4 times, that's not healthy. You know, used to we'd say if we got the ball in midfield, we was going to score. And our orange zone was a 49-yard line. And now we're struggling to get the ball consistently in the end zone, which is something can't be satisfied with.
50% for the season. When you get inside the red zone, you score a touchdown. What is it about the red zone offense that's caused it to sputter?
Well, our color is orange. It's orange zone.
I'm talking inside the 20, not inside the 49.
And, well, it's
Still orange?
Still
Still orange?
If
I'm
orange,
colorblind,
if
yeah.
orange starts at the 49, it's still orange when it gets down. You know,
So the orange zone
I
inside
mean-
the 20.
I mean, my colored book says that if I colored orange from the 49-yard line in, then it's still orange from the 20-yard line. So.
You know you're talking to somebody who's colorblind, right?
Are you really?
Yeah. So I don't know what color it is, but inside the 20.
That explains why people say things they say about him. Okay, I got it.
So inside the 20.
Yes, sir.
Why has the offense struggled?
Well, usually because we're having a breakdown of maybe one person, and it's kind of been eerie. It's been at the point of attack most of the time, and plus we got a young quarterback that sometimes is missing reads, and so we're not taking the ball and pitching it. Our triple option right now is a double option, and when it's supposed to be a triple option, a double option doesn't work real good. And so we got, just one of those things. And DeAndre doing a great, he's been fabulous. And I certainly don't want to take anything away from that youngin. And he's got a great heart, and he'll be a great one before he's through. Hopefully this year. But we're just making a lot of mistakes.
Defensively, it's been an opportunistic bent this season. You recovered a fumble, had an interception in every game, and have picked off a pass in 7 games in a row dating back to last year. You've given up yards, but you're creating havoc, forcing turnovers. How that mentality developed sort of at the tail end of last season and on into this year?
Well, we got some guys that's played, and if we could get them all on the field at the same time, and we're dodging bullets there as far as especially in the secondary. We just, we're so thin. It's unbelievable. We've had 2 cornerbacks that's played almost every snap this year. And and we're giving up too much yardage, way too much. We're giving up too many points. But we are forcing some turnovers, and that has been our salvation so far, is the fact that we have turned the ball over quite a bit. And but at the same time, we got enough. We've got a good enough concept that we ought to be playing it better by now, and so we got to get better.
How important is it for the front 4 to get pressure on Cordell while staying in their rushing lane?
Well, critical. And of course, beginning point. If you have to make a choice between anything, probably Saturday, if you could pick one thing, it'd be pressure on the quarterback. And then if we do flush him out, just don't let him go get first downs. And that's a hard combination. When you say stay in rush lanes so that you can't flush him out, then usually there's a 330-pounder in front of you about those rush lanes. And so, it makes it really, and if there's 5 offensive linemen and you got 4 rushers, then that means somebody's getting double teamed every time. And sometimes with a back staying in there, you got 2 double teams going on. So it's the hardest thing in football is to continuously have a good pass rush.
What can you say about Pope and Freeman coming in and spelling Baker and Hibbett over the last couple of weeks?
Well, they're both talented kids, and we haven't seen what Pope's capable of doing yet. He's got a whole lot of ability that he came in here and right off the bat had an ACL surgery and probably just now getting to where he's got some confidence in that, and all he needs is reps. He's a good football player.
Did you rate last week as the best special teams performance, top to bottom of the season?
No. You talking about this basketball game?
Yeah.
All I remember is a 21-yard punt and a missed field goal from 12 yards, and a kickoff return out to the 40-yard line. That's 3 pretty critical mistakes, and and a block in the back for a penalty again on kickoff return, which is the 3rd or 4th straight week. And no, it was not a good. It wasn't a good special teams day for us. Not sure we've had one pretty good one. Not a good. No, we still have not had a great special teams deal. So still got plenty of work to do. You're welcome.